What's up, guys? It's Eric from Rare Candy, and today we're back with the first round of another league challenge that myself and Marcus from the channel got to go attend. So this one's actually going to be a standard format league challenge. Our last one we went to was expanded, so I'm a little thankful that we did get to get some standard footage for you guys, especially with the regionals coming up. A lot of them are standard this year, so definitely wanted to get some footage of that format for you. But here on the left, we actually have a player. They wanted to remain anonymous. They didn't mind us recording. They just want to remain anonymous. But they're going to be playing some sort of dark deck, Yveltal EX, Yveltal Darkrai, all that type of good stuff. And then on the right, we have Joey Grant, who's playing a Yanmega BREAK deck. I believe it's actually Yanmega BREAK, Zebstrika, and Octillery, if I remember correct. I could be mistaken. So let's see. I guess they're debating on something here. Okay, I guess they're just trying to figure out who's going to go first. So this could be an interesting matchup. Joey does have that Zebstrika, and that could actually be a pretty pivotal card in this matchup, depending on how heavy um, her Yveltal count is. If it's a deck more based around Darkrai, she might be an okay spot. Oh, and there we see a Weavile in her hand. That's actually an interesting card you don't see too often. So that's actually a new card from Steam Siege. Has an ability. It lets you pick up any tools that are on your field and put them back into your hand. So maybe she plays some sort of toolbox of different tool cards. Maybe like some Assault Vest and Fighting Fury Belts, or maybe like Burst Balloon or something too. I don't know. So hopefully we'll get to see how that Weavile actually comes into play. Okay, and looks like Joey did get the Blitzel start. Ooh, and there she actually opens up with an Umbreon EX. That's a card that's not one you want to start with in these dark decks. That's more of a card you would like to clean up knockouts with. But the plus side to Umbreon, though, if she does have a dead hand, I believe its first attack does let you draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. Here, Joe's going to get rid of a Yanmega and a Sycamore. He does play Revitalizer, so he will be able to get that Yanmega back at a different point in the game. So what does he need here? Maybe just to get down a Yanma, or maybe a Remoraid potentially? Yeah, it looks like he's eyeing down that Remoraid. Cool. So Remoraid, it does evolve into Octillery, which has that ability Abyssal Hand. It'll let Joey draw until he has 5 cards in his hand. So definitely an important card. He likes to use this probably to help ensure that he always has 4 cards in his hand to attack with Yanmega for free. So he's going to get a Floatstone. He's having a pretty decent turn so far. I'm not sure who he wants to put that onto. He might opt to put it on Blitzel to potentially retreat onto the bench, because you really only want to bring out this Zebstrika when you can take knockouts on things like Yveltals and Shamans and stuff. Because most of the time, it's not that great of an attacker. So for you guys who don't know Zebstrika, it has an attack for a double colorless energy. It does 50 plus 60 more if they have fighting resistance. So yeah, he is going to opt to just attach to the Zebstrika there. And here we're going to see a Sycamore. So, okay, so he does get a double colorless energy. And just going to see a pass. So, we're going to see a Skyla come down, okay. And here in her deck, looks like I see an Yveltal break in there, so that's an interesting card. Okay, and she's just going to grab a Fan Club for the next turn, it looks like. So let's see. And probably just see an attachment, and I think Umbreon's first attack is called Veil of Darkness, if I'm not mistaken. I could be totally wrong about that, but we'll probably just see that come down and maybe draw an extra card. Or she might already have 6 in hand, it looks like. So, oh, okay, and so we're going to see a Skyfield come down, and that will let her draw 1 additional card off this attack. And Skyfield, that's actually another really interesting card. It's not typically we see the opposite in these dark decks, and I'm actually really, hold on, I'm really confused for a second. Looks like she played the energy switch. maybe she played it in an attempt to fail it, but I actually believe the ruling on that is you wouldn't be able to play it since there's no legal targets to actually um, use the energy switch on. So uh, luckily this is just a league challenge, guys. It's not a heavily competitive tournament, but I do believe they wouldn't let you do that at um, a larger event. Or if they probably called a judge over, the judge probably would have just fixed that. But and speaking of judge, Joey actually played the supporter card judge. So each player shuffles their hand into their deck and draws 4 cards. So it's pretty cool because it's disruptive for your opponent and also helps you hit that 4 card number to do Yanmega's attacks for free. So Joey really needs an Octillery or a Yanma. Okay, so he does get the Octillery, so that'll help him draw some extra cards here. Okay, and here we also have a Forest of Giant Plants coming down. So that's that stadium card. It lets grass Pokemon evolve on the first turn that they are played. So this is really handy because you can get out your Yanmegas and Yanmega breaks a lot quicker than normal. So here, yep, Joey's just going to grab a Yanma, and I believe he already has the Yanmega in hand as well. Okay, and here it looks like we're probably going to see a Crashing Bolt come down for 50 damage. Here, she's going to attach a double colorless, and her hand's not the best, it looks like. I don't think she has a supporter from what I can see. So here we're just going to see, I believe, Umbreon's attack endgame, and does 70 damage, so it'll leave that Zebstrika with 10 hit points left over. That's got to be a little frustrating that she was so close to a knockout. But here, Joey actually kind of bails her out with that end. She's probably really excited about that, but at the same time, Joey's probably thinking, you know, my hand's not the best. I really need to get out a different attacker because this Zebstrika is not the best. Um, and really, Yanmega is not that great here in this situation. He probably really wants a Yanmega break. So for you guys who are unaware, Yanmega's attack, I forget the name of it. I think it's Assault Boom, but it's 50 plus 70 more if they have a tool card attached to them. So both these Pokemon are only doing 50 damage right now, but if Joey can get a Yanmega break, he will be able to do 100 damage because Yanmega break has the attack. Barrier break just does 100, and it goes through any effects on your opponent's Pokemon, including weakness and resistance. So really, she's on a 1 turn clock here. She really needs to get something going. So yep, she does get a fan club. So ooh, that's a little bit risky. She's actually going for the Yveltal EX here. I would maybe probably prefer a baby Yveltal, but it looks like she has one in hand. So what to do at this point? I mean, really, I think you need to start powering up this Darkrai because Zebstrika just it cleans up knockouts on these fighting resistant Pokemon so easily. But here she's actually opting to power up the Yveltal, so maybe she's not too familiar with Zebstrika. It is a little bit more of an obscure card you only see in some decks. But to her credit though, she is, I believe, actually a newer player. I think this is one of the first tournaments she had been in, if I remember correctly. So she might just not be as familiar with all these, like I said, more obscure cards that aren't as popular, like Zebstrika here. But here, like I said, Joey's going to be able to get an easy knockout on that Yveltal EX, taking 2 prizes. So I really don't think she can afford to bench any more of these Yveltal EXs. Um, she can probably still play the baby Yveltal in her hand, though, just because that'll force Joey into taking 7 prizes. So it'll force Joey to take hopefully a knockout on EX, a non-EX, and then 2 more EXs if she does start attacking with this Yveltal. So as long as she powers up either that or the Darkrai, I think that will be okay, but I think the Yveltal probably is the safer play here because you can get a knockout on the Zebstrika and also start powering up the Darkrai. So I think that is definitely the play here. Okay, yep, she is going to start powering up that Yveltal, and we're going to see an Ultra Ball come down, getting rid of a Dark, and ooh, an EXP share. That actually could be, I'm not sure her count in the deck, but that seems like it could be interesting. Oh, and here, yeah, I remember what happened. Uh, Yeah, like I said, she is a bit of a newer player, so I think she didn't know that Malamar EX actually was rotated out of standard format for this tournament. But like I said, guys, it's a league challenge. It's not the most competitive tournament. It's not like a regionals or, any of these league cups that are going to be coming up either. So I'm not sure what they did as far as the rest of her games that she had to play this day, but for the duration of this game, we just allowed it. Like I said, it's a league challenge, not a huge deal. We'll overlook it here. Okay, see, Joey's gonna hit a trainer's mail. What's he gonna grab? Gonna grab the Pokemon Ranger here. So ideally, Joey just really wants a Yanmega break here. That way he'll be able to take a knockout on this Umbreon EX. I'm not sure how many he plays in his list, but you'd have to imagine maybe 2 or 3. So here he's going to Sycamore and hopefully be able to draw into this Yanmega break like I was talking about. He gets a couple more regular Yanmegas, but no Yanmega break that I can see. And here it looks like he's just going to retreat it just to save it from being knocked out. And we'll probably just see an Assault Boom for 50. Okay, it does draw a Stardust Jirachi, so that's an okay card to draw, I suppose, since we do know she does play double colorless energy. So Jirachi has that Stardust attack, does 10 damage, and it discards a special energy on your opponent's active Pokemon. And if you do, it prevents all effects of attacks done to Jirachi on the following turn. So it could be relevant here if Joey does have to start going on the defense. He could maybe use this Jirachi at some point to stall for a turn or two. Oh, and here we see a Pokemon Center Lady come down. That's got to be frustrating for Joey. He's been chipping away at this Umbreon. So, so that will potentially buy her one more turn if Joey does not hit a Yanmega Break here. But here, again, I think she just needs to retreat it and start powering up other Pokemon with this baby Yveltal. Okay, so we're going to see an attachment to Malamar EX, and that does put your opponent's active Pokemon asleep. So it looks like she's just going to do that and do Umbreon's attack for 70. So here, what is the play if you're Joe? I'm not sure what all he has in hand. I did see Lysander at the least. There's an N as well, so maybe he can play N, try to dig for that Yanmega Break, and just take the knockout here. But just opting the Sycamore, he really wants to dig deep probably, just to really make sure he hits this Yanmega, which he did draw into it, I did see. Okay, so here he's going to evolve that benched one, probably that way he can retreat into it and have a fresh one. Okay, and here he benches a Klefki actually. It's not really a relevant card for this matchup, but it lets you attach Klefki as a tool to one of your Pokemon. All it does, it just prevents Megas from doing damage to Yanmega Break. So like I said, not too relevant here, but he just needed to get his hand size down to 4 cards. Okay, and unfortunately, it looks like her hand is not the best here, but luckily she can probably stall for a turn or so with this Yveltal and start powering up another attacker. So just going to opt to attach to the Malamar. That seems okay to me. Darkrai only needs a double colorless energy to attack, and it also gives her the option of a big Maximar attack potentially later in the game. Okay, so it looks like Joey's going to get another Yanmega on the field. He has all 4 in play. A couple of them are a little beat up, but he definitely has plenty of attackers to pick from right now. Okay, so he's going to play Special Charge, get one more card back into his deck. He is running a little low on cards. He probably can't really afford to Sycamore or anything like that at this point. Luckily, he has Artillery here. Just going to use an Enhanced Hammer, getting rid of the DC on that Darkrai. So a little bit unfortunate, but nevertheless, she still has a Malamar EX powered up if she does want a different attacker. But here it looks like we're probably just going to see an Assault Boom for 50. Okay, so it's actually not too bad just because nothing's. Well, it looks like she's opting to retreat the Yveltal and go for a Maximar. I'm not sure how I feel about that play, just because she would need two heads, and it's still an even knockout the Yanmega, if I'm not mistaken, because I think it only does 50 times the number of heads that she flips. Oh, it does 60, my mistake. So two heads would have gotten the knockout, but the odds weren't really that good there, I don't think. Ooh, it looks like Joey doesn't have but four cards left in his deck, so he's going to have to really clean up this game a little quicker. So potentially he could be in a bad spot if she just decides to retreat into Darkrai and just pass for a couple turns, depending on what Joey has left to work with. Because if she can just cycle through different undamaged Pokemon for the rest of the game, she can actually probably probably win, to be honest. But here we're going to see a Maximar come down, which does knock out the Yanmega. Um, Fortunately for her, the Malamar EX isn't in one-shot range for this turn. So at the least, it will have to take two more hits. But again, I think she really just needs to retreat this thing and just wall with the baby Yveltal and then Darkrai. Because again, I'm not sure how many resources Joey has left, but I don't think he'll be able to Lysander enough to clean up this game because I think he's discarded a couple Lysanders and a bunch of Versus Seekers at this point. But here it looks like she's going for the Maximar attack. Um, she really just has to hope that Joey doesn't have a way to get his hand size down to 4 cards. So yeah, I think he has the 4 cards. Yeah, he can just bench the Blitzel. So yep, we'll see a barrier break for the last prize of the game. So Joe's going to take the first round here. Still, nevertheless, fun game to watch. It's always cool to see more interesting cards in decks like Weavile. We saw that Pokemon Fan Club, and even though Malamar EX isn't technically legal, it's still kind of cool to see that actually come down in a game. Since it's always exciting to see people go for like a big Maximar attack. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the first round. We record, I believe it's 4 of this league challenge, so definitely be on the lookout for the rest of the rounds in the coming days. But as usual, feel free to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our merch over at rarecandytcg.com. Pick yourself up a playmat or a shirt or something. Help support the channel. It'd mean a lot to us, guys. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and we will see you for the next one, okay?